For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. 3 newly freed Americans are back on U.S. soil after a historic multinational 24-prisoner exchange with Russia that involves 7 nations, including Germany, Norway, Turkey, and Slovenia. The 3 Americans released are Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich, corporate security executive former Marine Paul Whelan, who are charged with espionage, which the U.S. denies, and Radio Free Europe journalist Alsu Kurmasheva, who has dual U.S. and Russian citizenship. She was convicted in July of spreading false information about the Russian military, accusations her family and employer deny. The 3 arrived at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland shortly before midnight for a reunion with their families. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris were there to greet them and stress the importance of diplomacy in securing the landmark deal, in securing the landmark prisoner exchange.
There's nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. Nothing. Remember who the hell we are. We're the United States of America. The United States of America. We put back together relationships with countries that we haven't had.
This is just an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy.
In all, Russia released 16 prisoners, including dissidents of the Kremlin and war in Ukraine, and 12 German nationals or German-Russian nationals. Russia received 8 prisoners. 3 were held in the U.S., Germany, Norway, Poland, and Slovenia also released Russian prisoners as part of the exchange. Turkey hosted the exchange in Ankara. Yesterday, I reported Evan Gershkovich is a Washington Post reporter. He's a Wall Street Journal reporter. I regret the error. Al Jazeera's reporting Hezbollah has launched an airstrike targeting Israel's military as violence escalates in the Middle East. This comes a day after Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah warned Israel of a large military response for its attacks on Beirut Tuesday that killed a senior Hezbollah military figure. In Qatar, the funeral of slain Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh is taking place as Iran is vowing to retaliate against Israel, which it blames for that assassination. Iran's senior leaders have also blamed the U.S. for arming Israel. The assassinations of Haniyeh and other top leaders of Hamas and Lebanon's Hezbollah mark a victory for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as Israeli forces continue the war in Gaza. But they've set off a scramble among mediators to salvage a ceasefire deal on the table and avert regional war. President Joe Biden late Thursday urged Israel to move quickly on the ceasefire. Biden said he's concerned violence in the Middle East could escalate and that the killing of a top Hamas leader in Iran has not helped efforts to negotiate a ceasefire. Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign says it's raised $310 million, a record showing. Former President Donald Trump's campaign says it's raised some $138 million in the month of July. Harris delivered the eulogy Thursday for the late Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, who died last month from cancer at the age of 74. Jackson Lee had served as vice chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus and helped lead federal efforts to protect women from domestic violence and recognized Juneteenth as a national holiday. She also led the charge for reparations. Zen Iqbal reports.
Vice President Harris delivered the eulogy for Jackson Lee at the Fallbrook Church in Northwest Houston. She spoke in front of mourners and dignitaries that included former President Bill Clinton, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, U.S. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries of New York, and others. Harris said Jackson Lee was an inspiration for her own career in public service.
She was a force, but she never allowed anything to be mediocre. She always expected in all of us that we would rise to a point of excellence, knowing life was too short and there's too much to be done.
Jackson Lee was a longtime member of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, which is now chaired by Democratic Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal of Washington. Jayapal told mourners that Jackson Lee was a powerful force for progressive causes.
As one of the first progressive women of color to have a national platform, she used that platform to speak with deep moral clarity at every opportunity, despite rampant racism, sexism, and discrimination.
Jackson Lee served in Congress from 1995 until her death at the age of 74. I'm Zenik Ball, reporting.
The Biden administration says it's recognizing Venezuela's center-right opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez as the victor, discrediting the official results from socialist Nicolas Maduro's government, which has declared him the winner. Maduro, at the behest of allies in Colombia and Brazil to release tally sheets of election results, has asked the nation's Supreme Court to decide the accuracy of the vote count. In the U.S. Senate, lawmakers failed to pass a proposed expansion of a child tax credit. Christopher Martinez reports.
The measure would expand the child tax credit for low-income families, helping 80% of those who currently do not get the credit because they earn too little. The bill also included business tax reliefs, such as a research and development tax deduction. Democrat Chuck Schumer is the Senate Majority Leader.
If the bill becomes law, 500,000 kids would come out of poverty.
On the other side of the aisle, Senate Republican Leader Mitch McConnell dismissed the vote as election year politicking.
More than 90% of the supposed benefits of the bill, as written, come as a $30 billion expansion of cash welfare instead of relief for working taxpayers.
The bill won a majority, 48 yes votes to 42 noes. But in the Senate, that's a losing vote because it fell short of the 60 votes required to pass. I'm Christopher Martinez.
The Biden administration says it's recognizing Venezuela's center-right opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez as the victor, discrediting the official results from socialist Nicolas Maduro's government, which has declared him the winner. Maduro, at the behest of allies in Colombia and Brazil to release tally sheets of election results, has asked the nation's Supreme Court to decide the accuracy of the vote count. The National Weather Service is warning of another large-scale heat wave impacting much of the lower 48 states starting today with dangerous heat. It's coupled with the chance of excessive rainfall on the East Coast. In the Northwest, record-breaking heat is forecast for triple digits. In the Southwest, monsoonal storms are forecast. Paris prosecutors have opened an investigation into online hate speech at Olympics opening ceremony artistic director Thomas Jolly and others who say they've received death threats, public insults, defamation, and rape threats. The opening ceremony featured a drag performance and paid tribute to the ancient Greek god Dionysus. Christians said it was a mockery of the Last Supper. I'm Christina Onnested reporting for Pacifica Radio.